Alright guys, welcome back to another Nioh 3 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to become extremely powerful early on. This is going to be from the perspective from pretty much every class, but there will be a heavier focus on the samurai since that's the class I play the most of, or the style I play the most of. I will offer some pretty general stuff for both styles, but this is going to include things like the best yokai soul cores to farm, some really solid healing buffs, things of the sort, extremely powerful passive skills for both the ninja as well as the samurai's playstyle, and some of the best early unlocks that could really help your gameplay out. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's dive right on in. Alright, first things first, let's go over some of the more important secret skill texts because these are going to be valuable. First, we're looking at Unshakable, and what this does is it reduces damage taken while you are attacking by 10%. If you're playing a samurai playstyle, which is what I play vast majority of the time, when you're actively fighting and trading hits, it's going to inevitably happen. You're going to hit at an enemy, he's going to hit you back, you're going to take a lot of damage. With this makes it super easy for you to mitigate a big portion of the damage. If you're a ninja, you won't be taking hits because you're evading, but when you're a samurai, you tend to trade a lot, and when you're trading, you want to mitigate as much damage as possible, so this is where this comes into play. Now, in order to find this, you need to come over here to Prospect Hill. Now, from Prospect Hill, you're just going to make your way down until you see this yokai here and go over to the right. In this field, you will notice a giant yokai in the area off to the distance. You can engage with them. I don't think he's like particularly strong, but I would say around level like 7 or 8, you should be able to kill him reliably. Regardless, as you make your way down the path he's walking, you'll notice a body here sitting there, and within this body, if you loot it, you will get access to this one. It's a very straightforward one that I use pretty much essentially throughout the whole game. I still have it equipped right now on my level 70-80 character, and it's just like super good, so definitely pick this one up. The next one we're going to be taking a look at is going to be a general skill for both, and this is called Panacea Cure Fast, and what this does is it increases your life restored by elixirs by 15%. Now, I don't think it's too hard to explain why this one is valuable. This one's just going to give you actual amount of extra healing for just simply using the elixirs you're going to be using through the entirety of the game. This one's like a mainstay in my opinion. I don't really see you not using this at all throughout the extreme vast majority of the game until you get some type of regeneration. And yeah, this one's super easy to get anyway, so definitely worth a pickup. In order to find this one, you need to come over here to the Tenru River, and there's going to be a base like sitting right here on top of this hill that you need to take out. There's going to be a total of 8 enemies within this location that you need to face off against. I would just highly recommend just playing your ninja form and essentially just sneak around and backstab as many as possible, because the moment one gets notified, a good portion of them will start to attack you, especially in the middle area. So yeah, you want to like take out as many as you can from stealth, and then after you finish like all the enemies in the courtyard, the boss will summon. He's fairly easy. You're gonna take him down and then go into this door here. That's gonna lead you into a room that has access to this. Open up the chest, it'll be right there. One that I once again continue to use through the entirety of the game. Definitely worth picking up. Another really valuable one, especially for my samurai players, is going to be Defense Master 1. There will be a Defense Master 2 that's super valuable, but we don't have it yet. But we're going to use Defense Master 1, and this is just going to give us 6 defense. Pretty straightforward and pretty good. In order to get this one, you're going to need to make your way over here to Miyazaki, and this is going to be essentially the mission where you speak to Mr. Honda, and you need to clear out this entire area. The thing about this area is it is a dark zone, but it's not actually that hard to do. The big guy here, which you'll have a big yokai somewhere in here that I would highly recommend. Hopefully you can get that. Like he has a really good soul core. Maybe you get it and get lucky. Regardless, this place is fairly easy to take down. Once you take down the like wolf yokai in the back, there will be a chest there where you can open up and pick up this Defense Master. Highly recommend using this. Again, this is another one that I use throughout the entirety of the game. Next, we're going to be taking a look at Resolute Art, and what this does is reduce damage taken while martial art proficiency is active by 15%. Now, this one is going to be a little bit more dependent on the weapon that you use. For example, I use the axe a lot, and I have this like whirlwind spin that kind of has a longer attack duration. So this plus, you know, having that your proficiency art active while you're attacking is going to reduce your damage by up to 25% while you're doing this. And since you're committed into a spin, for example, this is going to give you a lot of like damage mitigation that you definitely will need on top of all your armor and defense you have. You'll pretty much be able to do your spin with that enabled and be fairly safe and comfortable. And that's kind of the purpose of this. If you use any weapon that can be a little bit more, you know, longer in animation while you're doing your art proficiency, this is valuable, and that's going to be generally how the samurai plays anyway. So that's why I really like this one. After finishing the Defense Mastery one here, you're going to make your way all the way up this coastline, and then I would highly recommend grabbing this shrine as well as this shrine, and then you're going to make your way up here to this little lake Sanaru, and this little body here is going to be the location where you need to go pick up this. There's going to be a few crabs in the area. You need to go down like this little cliff, and then right next to a rock somewhere in this area you'll see pretty much this item here, so definitely worth a pickup. Next, let's take a look at attack mastery 1, and this one is pretty straightforward. It's going to increase your attack, again one I use pretty actively throughout the entire game. And what you're looking for is to come to this location here. It's going to be inside this building, so you'll probably see me doing it on screen now. You're essentially looking for this little side entrance. You're going to make your way upstairs and just kind of be careful, there's some enemies in here. Make your way up the stairs, jump through the door. You're going to see this little crosswalk. You're not going to go across the crosswalk. You're going to make a left, jump over this little gap in the floor, and then go through the window. And then when you make your way downstairs, you'll get the entrance to this location, and essentially downstairs you'll have it, and yeah, it'll be there. And this one is also pretty damn valuable, something you definitely should pick up. Next and finally, when it comes to the secret skills I think worth mentioning, we have Requiem, or Quelling Requiem, and what this does is it increases the drop rate of soul cores by 10%. Now this one is a pretty obvious reason why this is valuable, because when you're actively doing any form of questing in the open world, if you kill any of the yokai, you'll get opportunity of getting their soul cores, and this is like one of the most valuable ones to get early. Unfortunately, this one can be in a little bit of a higher zone, but still I'm going to tell you it because it's still worth picking up. So what you're looking for is to come over here to the Futamata Castle in this region, and you're going to basically look for this treasure chest located here on the map. This is a level 36 region, so I would say maybe around level 25 you should be fairly capable of doing this. You'll probably see in some of the footage that I actively come here and use one of the summoned spirits, and I would even argue it's worth doing. I typically don't encourage viewers to like rush through the game, because as you can see here on the map, this is pretty deep into the first major zone, but I will say this is worth doing because it's just going to make it more valuable to get more value out of like exploration and stuff, because you can get way more soul cores and it actually does add up. But yeah, come over here and grab this. This is easily the best one. Definitely pick it up. All right, next let's talk about the most important thing you should be unlocking early, and this is like the most important vendor in the game in my opinion throughout the entirety of the game, and that is the blacksmith, and specifically the soul mesh and the soul extraction system. Now what this system essentially does is, let's say for example you have a level 10 piece of gear right now that you found in the demo or through your playthrough, and it has perfect stats that you want throughout the entirety of the game, but obviously as you continue to level you will outscale this weapon. Well, what this soul match system essentially does is it will extract the weapons like soul parts and things like that, and then it'll pull up into this huge pool where you can use to essentially infuse your current weapon, whatever it is, your max level or your current max level right now, so it stays relevant throughout your entire playthrough, so you don't have to swap through your gear and like constantly look for good things. If you find something super powerful early, well, you can actually keep using it through the entire game. It is a super amazing system. Now how do you unlock this system? Well, pretty simple. You need to come to the blacksmith. In order to do the blacksmith, you need to complete your first crucible, like your first major crucible, and once you actually defeat it, you're gonna get a mirror from the lady that sent you to do the crucible. I forget her name. She has like an I in her name or something like that, but anyway, she's gonna give you a mirror and send you here to the blacksmith location. Keep in mind that once you come out of the blacksmith location, you won't have this available, so you need to actually go immediately back. So after you finish all the dialogue, I would go immediately back into the soul rift and then come here and pick up her mission. She's going to give you a mission that's like the fierce something, where you need to go get an item. I'm going to show you where you need to go to get it. And as I said earlier, I told you to grab these two teleporters here. And the reason for that is simply because you need to come over here to this location here. And this is the Lake Sanaru. I don't know, just like the post here. And essentially once you finish that location, you're going to have this spirit vein ability. You can actually traverse this area. In order to find this is simple, just follow the scampus that's there. It's going to essentially lead you all the way up to the top, almost to where the box is. Make your way over to the other side of the island too if you want to grab some extra loot here, but just essentially follow the scampus all the way up to the top. And then when you get to the top, there'll be inside this chest, you'll find this little item that the character wants, and like there's some other stuff in that room too, so pick that up as well. But essentially make your way to the top and then come back to her and then talk to her, and she's going to tell you, well, now you can get the soul extraction system. Again, in my opinion, this is the most important system unlock early to keep your gear relevant, so you're going to be doing that first off. All right, next, let's talk about a handful of soul cores that you definitely want to pick up. And these are going to be valuable for a good portion, if not throughout the entire game. And these can be picked up extremely early. So first off, we're going to be getting the Mizuki soul core. This is the first formidable boss that you're going to need to face off against. I mean, you don't need to, it's optional. But if you're looking for him, he's located here on the flag that you see posted on screen now. And he's a pretty tough boss. I would say I would engage him around level like 15 to like 18-ish. And what I essentially did before I fought this guy was just cleared the entire first zone. And then I got to the boss, the Crucible boss. And then I came back to him and fought him. And that's how I did it. And I felt like that was the best way to do it because you should have plenty of power. And you need to face off against him and go there and get it. And the reason for this is pretty simple. His like skills are super good. When you toss him out, he will do this huge spin. And I'll show you here. And this spin can hit multiple enemies. And it has 2 hits. And as you can see here, he throws it huge AoE. And it just hits a lot of enemies. And this killed those 2, got this guy to almost half HP. And it's really nice to have as a talent because this is really good against those bosses as well. This does a ton of key damage to bosses. And this is like super valuable. So that's why I want to use it. It's actually one of the best ones you're going to have for a very long time, in my opinion, as your major like AoEer. And it's like super good. So that one's worth picking up. Again, you can come over here and fight him. He's fairly easy to defeat, in my opinion, of the formidable bosses. You just got one dangerous attack. So the next one you're going to be looking at is the Hino Enma Soul Core, and this one you want to put specifically in your Yin slot. And what it does is essentially invokes a magic spell that invigorates nearby allies. I'll have a snippet playing of the heal amount, and this is on a character that has at least 20 to 25 points invested into HP, and I'm playing like a samurai and I was low health, and I used one of these charges and it healed me up almost completely full. Again, this one is one I use pretty much through the entirety of my playthrough thus far, and one that's super worth getting. In order to get this one, you just need to come over here to the Haunting Caves. You need to face off against the area boss. You're going to get a quest from this guy here, Honda, after you clear this area, and this is where you got Defense Master. And essentially you're going to come over here and do the fight. My advice to you for her is she's fairly easy to take down. Her HP is lower than most bosses, if I'm not mistaken. What she does is poke a lot, so all you need to do is just always keep moving. And when she does her big like red like sweep attack or fly towards you attack, the moment she moves forward towards you, all you need to do is just press the R key. As long as you're within mid-range, you should be mid-range most of the time anyway, and then you'll be able to parry that every single time. Now if you want to farm more versions of her, you can come over to your battle scroll system here, and then you can keep doing the Demon of the Haunting Caves here and keep replaying it, and it will respawn her back. And so if you want to get some stat rolls that are a little bit more appropriate and maybe even like practice a little bit, you'll be able to get it. And then she also has the physical arts strike skill here. I don't have like visual footage of this, I don't think, but this one's actually really good for the ninja there, so it'll be within her cavern area too. So I would highly recommend doing this and clearing out her collectibles and farming her, because getting a perfect one for like your setup is going to be super big. Her level may not be high, and that's completely fine, but her heal is super valuable, so make sure you get it. All right, next we're going to be using the Yokai Soul Core, and this one is extremely straightforward. What it does is it increases your attack. You very likely have gotten one of these. I'm pretty sure a Crucible boss drops one, and I'm pretty sure those are almost constantly something that will drop fairly easy. What this one does, give you attack, straightforward. I'm gonna show you where you can go to farm this. Now, where I like to farm these guys is at the Futamata Castle. We talked about this place a second ago. This is where you got the extra soul core farming special skill text. And as you can see here on screen now, we come over here and this yokai spawns here constantly, and you can just keep farming him until you get a appropriate one. This will be around level 35-ish for this one. And if you want to find somewhere like a little bit easier, like a lower level version, you're gonna come over here to this post here. This is at the starter zone. And then just make your way up here after you clear this crucible, and this yokai here will be just sitting here. So if you're worried about him getting close to you, there's another wolf yokai that you can farm here too, technically. But yeah, this guy can drop it as well. And I actually think there's a guy upstairs too if you really want to make one. There's another yokai in this area somewhere, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, you can just farm this guy here, and then you can get a chance to drop it. Lastly and finally, I want to show you two more soul cores. They're not like deterministic, but I think they're still worth mentioning. The Mujini soul core is one that is super good. I think that's how you pronounce it. And what this does is it allows you to essentially survive one attack that otherwise would kill you. And I think it revives you at like 25% HP. This one is super clutch against really strong enemies. The reason why this one's a little hard to get is because it's based around the mimics in the game. Now, I don't know where all the mimics spawn. they're tied to specific chests, and I'm assuming there's a limited amount of mimics on the map. And that's kind of why this one is super important. The tech to actually get the mimic to drop the core, and I'm almost 100% sure, it's 100% certain that it will drop if you do it this way. The mimics themselves will do like an emote, and if you copy their emote, they'll get happy and not attack you, and then they'll just drop it. Every time I've done that, it's always dropped the soul core. So that's a pro tip I'm probably going to put in a future video, but do that. And then the other one is going to be a Kappa soul core, and what this does, it's a charm that invokes magic that brings good fortune. I have no clue. I don't know, it says it makes it easier to find rare items. I don't know if that means just like everything, like you're more likely to drop certain, like let's say your elixirs and the items and soul cores, all those things. I don't know if it counts for that, as I haven't done adequate testing, but regardless, I mean, it's extra loot, so I mean, you're still gonna do it anyway, so you should do it regardless. So yeah, that's what you're gonna do. These are a little less deterministic in which they can spawn, but one that I remember spawning was located here within the Kaido region, and then like right around the corner here you'll see one. I don't know if that'll be there for your game, the first one there. It's hard to really say, but I will say definitely go try to farm these guys and wait till you have that like big soul core farming one, the one we talked about, Requiem, to make sure you guarantee it. In my opinion, I think that's worth doing. Alright guys, and there you have it. That is all the early game item and unlocks that I think are worth picking up. There are going to be a handful of things trickled in between, because we did talk about things that have a pretty, like, you know, big level spread. But for the most part, if you pick these up, these are going to be something super valuable. If you do find something in the early game that you think are worth mentioning, especially for my ninja players, feel free to leave them down in the comment section to help someone out. I may try to do a ninja style setup. I don't really play ninja much, but regardless, let me know down in the comments if there's anything you find that's worth mentioning to help other players. As always guys, if you did enjoy the content, make sure to drop me a like as well as subscribe. We're going to be covering a lot of Nioh 3, as well as many other RPGs and action RPG open world games that you're going to be playing this year. So make sure you support the channel by subscribing. As always guys, my name is Fervor. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video very soon.